Hello and welcome inside Hazeltine Field for this special edition Quick Hits. Today we're going to take a look at the El Segundo Eagles' past football season. The Eagles finished 10-2 with a second round playoff exit. Right now joining me is Ashton Saltz, Jake Palmer, and CJ Shevlin, and we're going to recap this past football year. Guys, how you guys doing?
Good man, yeah. Great.
Ashton, it's been a few weeks since the football season wrapped up. How do you evaluate this past year for you guys?
I guess you gotta take each game by game and see how we performed on as a team level. And coming from a 10-2 season, there's nothing you can be disappointed about, really.
And Jake, you had to split time at quarterback. How was that like for you?
I mean, it was a great time. Just fun to be part of the experience. You know, we each got to take a part playing with all our boys together. It was a fun experience overall, and I mean, don't regret any part of it.
And CJ, this season was special, particularly because your dad is the head coach as well. And your final season being coached by your dad, what was that like for you?
I mean, the whole experience was just kind of like a journey together. And growing up since we were younger, him coaching me since I was a little kid, you know, it was kind of like our last ride together, and it was a special experience.
Ashton, back to you. This defense was something special this year. You guys were on top of the standings in pretty much every category. What made this defensive unit so special?
Honestly, coming from a team like us, all of us have played together prior to high school and like past years, and just really getting used to the defensive schemes, and we already had the chemistry there, and it's just once it all started clicking, you couldn't stop.
Jake, this team was clicking all year long, particularly in one specific game, that Miracosta game that you guys upset Miracosta in a huge win. 22 years since you guys had played each other. What was that feeling like?
I mean, that was one of the most exciting games I think any of us probably have been a part of. I mean, obviously it was a big game for us going into it. Just to get assigned that game was big for our school and big for our community. And getting that win just kind of almost made our senior season so spectacular.
Did it earn you guys a little bragging rights in the South Bay?
Yeah, the bragging rights are definitely there and can't hurt us.
And CJ, what advice would you give to the underclassmen on this football team for next year and the years to come?
I would just say come out with a good mentality, come out working hard, you know, get your job done, focus every day, and just have fun while you're playing.
Let's go around and tell me your favorite moment, favorite play, favorite game from this past season.
My favorite moment has been all the times in practice we tried out our special play, the bounce pass. And I got to play quarterback for a play, and I would always throw it deep. And every time, like, I'd get close to the end of the game, I'd walk over to Coach Shev, just try it. Let me just try one play. Let me just try one play. But yeah, that was my favorite moment. Yeah.
I think in both that Miracosta game we played in and that first win in playoffs we had was just those last offensive drives we had, and just the composure our team held, and just the grit to get all the way down the field and winning drives was just exciting.
Yeah, I'd have to say that last game, just kind of the whole environment of the game. You know, when we went down, when we lost the lead, the whole environment just kind of seemed down. But then when Jake scored, it's like everyone just went crazy, everyone got nuts, and it was just, that whole game was just a great memory.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, guys. So right now we're going to take a break and take a look at some highlights from this past season from the El Segundo Eagles. Welcome back inside Hazeltine Field, and now joining me is the head coach of the Eagles, Coach Steve Shevlin. Coach, thanks for joining me.
How you doing?
Thank you. Coach, another incredible season, 10-2, including the second round playoff berth. What's your overall opinion of how you guys did this year?
Oh, I thought it was a phenomenal season. We upgraded our schedule, our non-league schedule this year. We took on Costa, and Lusinger we knew it was going to be really good this year. Oak Park had an outstanding year. And we weren't sure how we were going to finish. We thought we could go anywhere from 5-5 to the season we had. And I thought the kids really matured from last year, and they really grew up a lot with what our expectations were, what their own expectations were. And to finish season 10-2, the league championship was everything I could have hoped for.
How special was a part of that Ocean League championship you guys accomplished this year?
Personally, I had a wish for a lot of those kids. I've grown up with them since they were young because of CJ, and I really wanted them to experience a league championship on their own as a senior class. They were on largest team 2 years ago as sophomores, but to have it as your own as a senior, something really special. In the back of my mind, I tucked that away as something that I hoped they would achieve. We lost that heartbreaker to Culver City. We come back and we have that great game with Lawndale to give us a chance, and then we're able to share in that. So really, really fun for us, and a great memory for those kids.
Speaking of that Canyon game, the first round playoff matchup against Canyon High School, you guys had to come back and pull one out of the bag. You guys pulled a pretty crazy play there to win it. What was that play like?
That we called that play the 2-point play for the championship is what I had called it, and we'd run that as an extra point offense, but we hadn't done that in several years. And I broke it out maybe just for Lawndale game, maybe a little bit before that. I said, hey, we're going to use this at some point, and it's going to be at a point where no one expects it. And it just kind of happened in that situation that we got hot. Kobe made some great passes. Jake got us down there, and Jake and I were talking on that play and said, hey, it's time for the play. Let's run the play. So, we said, okay, go for it. And Jake saw the opening, took it, and scored. And pretty momentous. It's one of those things when it works, it's really fun and a great memory to fall back on. When it doesn't work, I think, people are looking to kill me. But it was really, really a great moment for El Segundo.
And he was definitely a special athlete this season, of course. He had to split time with Kobe LaGuardia at quarterback. What was that like for you, having two quarterbacks and them switching reps?
Kobe came in, as an unknown transfer into the school and didn't know anything about him. And I said, Kobe, I got a quarterback I really like. Probably not a good fit for you. And I said, it's going to be a real challenge. But I thought Kobe came in and was so humble in his approach to learning and understanding me and understanding how it was going to work. And he had a great summer. And with Jake has always been about whatever it takes to help the team win. And I thought Kobe brought some intangibles that Jake didn't have, and then Jake brought a lot of the intangibles I already knew he had. So to start the season, I thought we would try this alternating quarterback system. It was seamless. It really worked out really well. And as of course to the season, you would see each game, one of the kids would have maybe a stronger game, but the next week it might flip. And I thought that's what helped propel us to that 10-2 season. And it all hinged on how they were going to handle it as young men. If they were going to buy in, and they both bought in, the kids bought in around both of them, and I think it really helped the team take off.
Well, 10-2 is still a great season. Out of those 10 wins, Coach, which one was your favorite?
Well,
or all of them.
Yeah, no, there's a few. I think the Costa game definitely ranks up there. One of the things we haven't talked about yet is how good our defense was this year. And Dan Heck has been our defense coordinator for 10 years, and he's just been an amazing defensive coach for us. And we knew we were going to be good defensively. So I knew going into a lot of these games, if we could just keep the game close and our defense could hold teams down, we'd have a shot maybe at the end to win. And Costa was one of those games. Back and forth, big program, someone that we really have always aspired to be as good as historically. Maricosta's been one of the dominant programs for the last 25, 30 years. And that's what we were looking to do. It's just measure where we were. And there's a play in that game where Jake does a 360 pirouette, goes around, scores the go-ahead touchdown. And there's a shot somewhere that I saw on film where you just see the stands just packed. And I stopped it and I said, Jake, just look at that. Yeah. That's what this game meant, and that's what this game was about. And to win that really, I think, helped propel the team to believe that they could win every game. So that kind of sticks out the most. Obviously, the Lawndale game was a a great game, and Travis, what he does over there at Lawndale is so good and strong and solid. And they're going to be good. And to come back and win that game was phenomenal. So those are the games, and then obviously the Canyon game was pretty much a miracle win. So that was really, really fun.
Yeah, you guys had some great showings. And speaking of great, not a good defense, you guys had a great defense this season. But a lot of seniors on this defense. How do you replace those seniors this year?
I don't know if you can. Duncan is a player. He's a very special player, and you're not going to find those guys very often. And you don't replace guys like that. And he stayed healthy all year, and he was fantastic. And I think he set the tone for the whole defense. But you had a lot of great kids. You had Angelo had a great year at linebacker. Mark Viner had a great year. Gabe Fernan as our other defensive tackle. Radke stepped in with a great season, and Adrian Johnson filled in for Peter and had an outstanding year. So our defensive line and linebackers were great. And then defensively, our defensive backs, Kyle Freeman stepped up, had a great season. Danny McEntee was outstanding. And I don't know if you can replace all those parts. What you try to do is build from within. It'll be a little bit different team next year. I love the kids that are coming back, and they're young, but they really understand what it takes to be competitive and really want to get after it. And that's exciting to look at for the future.
Coach, going into the 24th season now, what are some of your goals in the offseason to try to improve this team next year?
We're going to start with the off-season training. We'll probably get started in January, right after Christmas break. They're doing some stuff now, but it's pretty low-key. And then it's just starting to put the pieces together. We got some great returners. You got, Danny's returning at corner. Kyle Freeman had a great year at safety. Those guys can also play offense. So you'll see maybe a few more two-way players. You have Gunner and Jess back at the offensive line, who are outstanding offensive linemen. And Jess will be the leader of that squad. So Gunner is outstanding. You got some good young freshmen coming in. We'd like several sophomores that are going to be on the team. So it's going to be really just getting them the reps, kind of getting them to understand what it's about, and the maturity it takes to be a varsity player versus a lower level player, because the commitment's going to be stronger. And I think this group already understands it. So now it's just, let's get into the games and see how we perform.
Coach, we can't wait to see what the Eagles of 2017 will look like. We appreciate you joining us here today. For Coach Shevlin, I'm Egidio Deliu. We'll see you guys next time.